Sometimes the research that you do is going to involve using various tests and measures or trying to find research that has used those measures or tests in order to better understand them in context. So to find these tests and measures in the library, what you might do is click on Journal Articles and Research Tools, and then jump over to Psychology. And if you do scroll down through our list of resources, we do have a couple databases related to tests, so psych tests and mental measurements. If I click on psych tests and do an advanced search, I can either enter the name of a specific test I might be interested in here, or I could actually just sort of search for tests on a topic. So if I'm interested in anything related to autism, spectrum disorders in this case, I can search for that, but I can also add additional limitations on this. So if I want to make sure the search results give me things that have supporting documentation, I can specify that, and I can actually even say I want to make sure the test materials are there. So on this search, I've got the autism spectrum quotient, and I can click on that. I can get a description and summary of it and what its purpose is, and I can actually click to just download the test itself. So another thing you might want to do is look at research that has used various tests that you're interested in. In this case, I'm going to click on Psych Info, and I'm going to do an advanced search. And there may be a specific test that you want to look at. So in this case, I'm going to look at the Autism Diagnostic Interview. So I'm going to do a phrase search to make sure these terms are all together. And then I'm also going to change this any field to tests and measures. So now when I search, I'm going to be looking for the Autism Diagnostic Interview as long as it appears in one of the listed tests and measures in the research that I'm finding. So you'll notice there are quite a few results where this one comes up. And if I click on any one of them to see the record, I can scroll down and see what tests and measures were actually used in this research. And in this case, of course, the one I was looking for does show up. And occasionally you will find links to the actual tests if they're available. So this can be helpful for you too. Another thing to be aware of is that when you're in PsycInfo looking at articles, occasionally the researcher may append one of the tests to the article that they have. So this is another way to get access to it. So when you're looking at articles, if there is a test and there are appendices available, take a peek because it may be available there. Another place to go to look for tests and measures is actually ProQuest theses and dissertations. So looking at graduate research that may involve these tests. So if I click Journal Articles and Research Tools again, and then Theses and Dissertations, and then ProQuest Dissertations and Theses, I can once again do a search for various tests that I might be interested in. So in this case, I'm going to do the Autism Diagnostic Interview. And then I can see that there are a lot of results that come up where this test was used. Again, it's worth taking a look at the PDFs of these documents and checking to see if the test was actually appended. So just to give you an example of that of something I found earlier, here is a thesis that involves a different test, but when I've downloaded this and opened it up and I scroll down, I can take a look at the appendices through the table of contents and see what has actually been appended. In this case, one test that I might be interested in, the Gilliam Autism Rating Scale 2nd edition, is actually appended in Appendix F. So then I can just scroll down to Appendix F and get access to this test. So here we are, Appendix F. So this has been a video that's trying to give you a sense of how to track these things down, and it's not always necessarily very straightforward. Finding tests and measures can be a little tricky. And sometimes it may just be impossible to find a free version of a test. Sometimes these things are commercial products that you would have to pay for or find another way. But there are a lot of ways to get access to this through our resources as well. Thank you very much for your time.